We are on the verge of freaking flying high without a squeeze again. I was looking into indexes, particularly into the Russell 2000. The reason for this is because I am trying to analyze and quantify the amount of manipulation that happens there that affects our stocks. If you didn't know, for months, hedge funds have been indirectly manipulating ETFs, particularly in the Russell 2000, in order to defeat the price action in AMC and GameStop. They have been caught actually dipping every single ETF that follows GME in particular to defeat the price action of everything in the market in order to better dip the price and break support levels built on the monthly charts. Now, let's quickly take a look at the Russell 2000 performance over a one-year timeline. As you can see, the index has almost doubled in value, reaching $3.4 trillion this month with this surge. A lot of this happened because many of the ETFs track AMC and GameStop. Now, the Russell 2000 is apparently set to announce some preliminary changes to account for the surge in meme stocks, tweaking the list of additions and deletions. Now, you are probably wondering what the whole big deal is about this. Well, let's talk more precisely about AMC and GME. In particular, let's discuss capitalization. Capitalization stands for the total value of all company shares of the stock. As of closing this last Friday, GameStop's capitalization stood around $18.4 billion while AMC's capitalization is around $24.6 billion today. Now let me tie it all together. The Russell US family of indexes is having the annual reconstruction, accounting for some market changes as I previously stated. They take into account stocks with many investors as that typically signifies a strong sense of security and performance in a risk management analysis. If a stock has a ton of shareholders and the stock is relatively popular, it would be a smart thing to consider adding them to the list. The question, ladies and gentlemen, is if AMC and GameStop can be moved into the large cap Russell 1000 and away from the Russell 2000, which is the small cap focused index. Among the requirements and considerations, for a company to be added and upgraded into the Russell 1000, it needs to break over $5.2 billion. As I said, with GameStop closing at $18.4 billion and AMC closing at $24.6 billion, it would easily satisfy the requirement to be added. Now this is where we start getting jacked. On May 7th, a preliminary ranking is performed, which accounts for additions and deletions from the Russell 3000, which more or less combines the Russell 1000 and 2000. However, the process of being broken and finalized into full materialized components isn't done until after the close of markets on June 25th. Due to our beloved stocks being in the small market indexes, their components will depend on the valuation of the companies at the close of business day trading hours on June 25th. On June 28th, the new updated Russell will all be published and take effect immediately starting that same day. In other words, there is a super strong likelihood of AMC and GameStop being added to the Russell 1000, which would be a huge catalyst to look forward to. So, the question is what the heck happens to a stock once it is added to an index like the Russell 1000? Past studies have shown that upon addition of the stock, there is an increase in the share values. There is a notable relative buying pressure to get the stock as it is now entered what can be considered an exclusive club where the best reside, and many investors start buying into the newly added stocks in anticipation of a surge in value can be expected to rise just simply out of the addition itself. With the Russell 1000 only being rebalanced once a year, it would make a permanent impression on the stock valuation overall, helping boost it up and raising the floor of the potential squeeze we are bound to get. Even in just price surges, you can expect the bottom price to be higher on average since the stock ought to find a lot more seasoned long-term investors. AMC and GameStop have this huge catalyst coming up that for some odd reason nobody is even mentioning or freaking out about. Guys, we have a potential run to be switched into one of the biggest indexes in the world. This is a monumental development with ramifications stretching not only for price elevation in the short term, but that will directly affect the price squeeze when we rocket off. I believe if we keep holding strong and buying, it will be a no-brainer to be added in. It would be a no-brainer, since comparing AMC and GameStop to the Russell 2000, it is obvious that both stocks have long left the range that this index accounts for. I mean, the prices are so elevated that the Russell 2000 is quite literally moving horizontally in comparison to the price performance of GME and AMC. One last thing I want to quickly disclose, as I forgot to do it in today's big video, was that the SEC has finally appointed an acting director of trading and markets. David Saltiel will be replacing Christian Sabella, who concluded his tenure on the agency on June 2nd. The SEC also announced that it intends to seek new candidates to fill all GIV board positions on the PCAOB, or the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, whose job is to audit the financial statements of public companies and brokers through registration standard setting, inspection and, most important to me, disciplinary programs. It seems that there is also a lot of changes happening in the SEC as a whole, which is great to see. Now let's hope that the new people are actually a little more job-driven to perform and start being more proactive into the current naked shorting situation that is happening. We have been trending all the freaking weekend on Twitter. Hashtags like naked shorting and now the new one, buy for 500,000, having been trending on the top 5 in consecutive the entire weekend on the giant social media app, making it impossible for anyone to ignore our movement and not see our growing presence. That CNBC screw-up where they literally admitting to show now with the possibility of being added to the prestigious index, the Russell 1000, our movement will gain a lot of validity and eyes. That CNBC news segment where the anchor mistakenly admitted to knowing that the markets are being plagued through naked shorts have done wonders for our stocks, and I believe it will have a quick and very direct effect on the price action early this week, as many people have taken that as the final validation and will want to jump in and sink some cash in exchange for some fortunes. Before I let you guys go, I want to address a concern I have seen regarding the pending proposal DTC 2021-005. Reddit and even I have seen a large and growing amount of people saying that the proposal is not going to pass, and that if it doesn't, then it means that hedge funds can keep delaying the squeeze inevitably until they cover completely. Essentially, there has been a ton of FUD which to me has been driving by hedge funds themselves to start birthing some doubt from new investors. I want to say one thing only. The squeeze doesn't need 005 to pass in order to happen. It would be extremely beneficial, absolutely. But as many have said, shorters and Wall Street are the ones that need to cover. They are the ones on a timeline with a ticking time bomb. If you don't remember, 005 is the proposal that dictates that securities such as AMC and GME can't be borrowed more than once. It is designed to limit the full scope of abilities from market makers from being able to work together and keep resetting on failure to deliver transactions. They won't be able to conceal positions using some of the in-the-money options we have talked about on this channel. The squeeze can and will happen without this proposal, because the most important ones already passed. This one just makes the delay of the squeeze shorter. But in the end, isn't that better for us? For if the squeeze is delayed a bit, doesn't that allow you to buy more shares? Regardless of what happens with 005, we already won. Buy and hold the stocks. I know this video came out of nowhere, but I just came across some of this information and had to share it with you guys immediately. I want to thank you all for taking some time out of your day to come watch this video. I hope it has you jacked up, because this new development has my short circuits frying right now. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will hopefully see you here tomorrow. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Also be sure to watch the video I released earlier today for what to expect this week. Stay cool, stay positive, and buy the dip if it comes, because God knows even big money has their eyes set on your shares. I will see you on the next one.